Okay, so today's focus is on Vyana Vayu. Vayus are different winds in the body, and this is more of an integrating Vayu. You don't need to do any of this, but you might be interesting. So especially helpful for chronic fatigue, for systemic issues, for boosting the immune system, and supporting the nervous system. So if you have any kind of chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia or arthritis, anything that this is all going to give the whole system a good boost. Okay, we're having 2 blocks and a blanket handy. It's good for this practice. Sometimes we do sliding and gliding, so to either just be on your carpet or to have a blanket on top of your mat to begin, and then later we'll take that away when we go do standing asana. Okay, so you can start lying on your back in Shavasana. Just let your body drop down, everybody. Surrender to gravity. Notice all the places where the body meets the floor. Notice the sensation of breath as it moves through the body. Sense or just imagine, visualize your circulatory system. And sense your body as a whole, all the component parts, all the different systems working together to keep you moving, to keep you alive. And then just take a moment to notice anything else that might be kind of bubbling up to the surface of your awareness in this moment. Maybe there's an emotional undercurrent or a physical sensation or a busy mind. Whatever it is, we're just noticing with a kind and curious attention. Not pushing anything away, but just kind of letting anything that's not here and now drift into the background of awareness. And breath is in the foreground of awareness. You don't have to breathe any particular way for most of the practice. There's a few things we do that it's good to synchronize movement and breath. So we'll start with one of those movements. Let's begin our movement inquiry by planting the feet about hip width apart. And you can take your arms into cactus if that works. So elbows are bent at 90 degrees, elbows in line with the shoulders, or just arms out wide at a T is fine too. The pelvis will stay down for this. We're going to find a little bit of a back bend in the spine and then a little bit of rooting through the spine. So a little flexion and extension. So with your exhalation, press your lower spine into the floor, eliminating any gap that might have been there. And then as you inhale, rock toward the tailbone and make that gap between the lower spine and the floor a little bit bigger. Following your breath, exhaling, press the spine down into the floor, drawing the abdominals down toward the floor as well. And then as you inhale, let the belly expand and find a bigger lumbar curve, lower back curve. A few more times, just like this, following your own rhythm. We go pretty slow in this class. So we can attune to sensation. So really bringing awareness inward to notice what's arising from moment to moment. Couple more times, gently beginning to mobilize the spine and tune in to the movements of the pelvis. Gradually let the spine return to neutral, so just its relaxed position. Slide the legs out straight. And interlace your hands underneath your head at the very bottom of the skull. So the head is held in the cradle of the hands, and we want the head to be as heavy as possible, and also the arms. So just let the arms drop down. We're going to try to keep that heaviness. So rather than lifting it all, it's going to be a sliding movement into a side bend. So sliding into a side bend to the left brings the left elbow down toward the left hip and the right elbow more up overhead. And you'll feel sensation through the right side, primarily of the torso. You can pause at the end range there for a moment and then slide through center and over to the other side. Let's go side to side here and let's incorporate the legs. So whatever elbow is reaching more overhead, the same side heel pushes in the opposite direction. As you push through the heel, you can pull your toes back toward your knee. So we're flexing the foot essentially and getting a little bit more stretch through the whole side rather than just the torso. You could come into the stretch on the inhale if you like. Imagine breath going into the space you're creating. And then exhale through center. You could turn your head to look toward the overhead reaching elbow. Head is still heavy, arms are heavy. Couple more times. Notice if the two sides of the body feel different. And then once you're back to center, please don't rush to get there. And you can release your arms down alongside your body. And just take a moment here again in Shavasana, not doing anything. Just notice what you notice. Let's take the arms out to a T now, palms up if that works for your shoulders. This next one is called the Baddha Konasana slides. If you're familiar with what tree pose looks like, that's kind of where we're going. We're going to slide the outer edge of left foot along the ground. The knee's going to go directly out to the side as it bends. And then when the foot can't get any closer to the pelvis, that's where you pause. And then slide the leg out straight. Let's alternate legs. The foot might not get super close to the pelvis. This practice is always about finding a moderate amount of sensation. Not pushing or forcing to the end range. So as you alternate sliding one leg and then the other into tree pose, see how heavy you can let the leg be. You might imagine there's a weight on your inner thigh. And notice where you feel sensation, perhaps the lower back, on one side, tipping of the pelvis, maybe sensation through the ribs, outer hip, inner thigh. My knee keeps saying something, it keeps cracking. Good. Let's go one more time or one more round. Just depends on your pace. And then whenever it fits into your flow, we're going to add something. So the start is the same. We're sliding to tree pose, essentially. And then from the outer edge of your foot, rock all the way to the inner edge of that foot. So the outer edge of the foot will come up off the ground. We're angling the knee across the midline. That's it. And then keep the outer edge of the foot lifted and slide the inner edge of the foot along the ground to straighten the leg. We call this the circular flow. Take your time, alternating legs, sliding outer edge, rocking to inner edge, sliding inner edge. Tracking sensation as it arises. The foot doesn't have to be close to the straight leg. You could try having it a little bit further away from the midline. You might get a little more range there. So this practice has lots of opportunity to explore, not a one way is the only way approach. Let's go about one more round. At the end of that one, whenever it is for you, just pause. Feel your breath moving through your body. Let's plant the feet again, about hip width apart, and interlace the hands underneath the head again, right at the bottom of the skull. So we're going to expand upon the first movement we did. As you inhale, make that lumbar curve bigger and also press the arm bones down into the floor. As you exhale, root through the lower spine. Now lift your head, squeezing your elbows toward each other and reaching them toward the knees. Following your breath, inhaling, root the arms, let the belly expand. Exhale, peel the shoulder blades up off the ground as you curl up. A few more times, so there's a little lumbar curve space on the inhale, and it goes away on the exhale. Same movement, just adding a diagonal reach with the exhalation. So when you come up, come across the midline, directing elbows toward one hip. Inhale, root the arms, expand through the belly center, and then exhale, curl up, reach the elbows toward the other hip. Full breath in, long breath out, elbows opening and closing. Nice, everybody. Maybe adding one more element, this little nod of the head. So when you inhale, slide the back of the head along the hands to lift the chin a bit more. And then when you exhale, really tuck the chin in, down and in, toward the notch at the base of the throat. After your second side, whenever that is for you, you can release all together back into Shavasana. Notice tingling or pulsing, sense of circulation through the body, breath circulating through the body. Okay, let's leave the legs straight and down on the ground and start to circle the ankles. And circle the ankles really intentionally and slowly, like you're moving through something really thick. So it'd be easy to just kind of like whoop whoop through the circles and not feel much, but we really want to feel as much as we can within our pain-free range of motion. One more time in this direction. And then go in the other direction. Spiraling back to stillness at center. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Bring your hands to your knees. And let's circle the knees. Notice the changing contact of the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, with the floor. Switch directions. Spiral back to center. Bring the feet back down so the knees are bent. Place an imaginary magic marker on your tail, at the tip of your tailbone. And let's try to draw circles with the tailbone. Drawing. You can start small here where it feels safe, and then gradually spiral the circles larger as it's appropriate for you. Sometimes the body's a little resistant, of course, and it's not actually a circle, it's some novel geometric shape, a little jagged maybe, so go slower and try to smooth it out. Changing directions. Spiral back to stillness at center. Let's straighten the legs on the floor again. And now magic marker at the tip of your nose. Head is staying heavy, head stays down. Start small here, drawing circles on the ceiling with your nose. Gradually spiral larger. Be sure your jaw is relaxed here, the teeth are parted. Again, go slower where you're losing the circular shape. Switch directions. Spiral back to stillness at center. Notice the inner atmosphere. Okay, let's interlace hands behind the head again at the bottom of the skull and plant the left foot. Arms heavy, head heavy. Rock to the inner edge of the left foot to swing the knee over to the right, keeping the left shoulder and elbow down. And then back to center. Let's add a little engagement to that movement. So we'll flow in and out. When you rock to the inner edge of the foot, push the inner edge of the foot into the ground and reach the knee more toward the right foot. Rather than just directly across, goes across and away. A few more times, just like this. You can also squeeze your left glute to work a little harder, to bring a little more engagement into the movement. Continue with the leg movement, and let's reintroduce that side scrub, the side bend we did earlier. So we're rocking to the inner edge of the left foot and side bending to the left. Left elbow slides toward left foot. Everything coming back to center, perhaps when the breath changes direction. You could again look toward the overhead reaching elbow, turning head and or eyes. Try keeping the left foot on the ground and pushing the foot into the ground to get a little more opening through the hip flexor. If you've been swapping sides, you can keep doing that. Otherwise, we'll switch to the other side now, where left leg is straight and right foot is planted. And first few times, just work the lower, pretty much the lower body movement. Right shoulder and elbow stay down. Rocking to the inner edge of the right foot. Pushing off the inner edge of the right foot or pushing into the floor. Foot staying grounded. Knee coming across and away. Kind of reach it for the left foot. And try squeezing the right glute. So make it work for you. You can always try that and decide something a little different feels better. When you're ready, we'll add in the side scrub, the side bend. So if right foot is planted, we're side bending to the right elbow sliding down toward right foot. And as the foot comes back to the ground, the whole foot, the upper body comes back to center. Staying in the sensation with your awareness. Last one. Okay, and then once you're back to center, release all together to Shavasana. Notice the field of sensation inside. Let's take hold of the elbows and bring the arms up around the head. Reach the elbows overhead, back behind you. Point your toes up toward the ceiling, push through the heels. Full body stretch. Again, adding a little side bend. So let's get a little lift, shift, slide, upper body over to the right, and then push more through your left heel, breathing here. Other side, lift, shift, slide, upper body to the left. Body's kind of like a banana. Push through right heel, breathe into right side. Come back to center, stretching from the midline, through the heels, through the elbows, through the sides of the torso, through the back. And then release, arms down by your sides. Shavasana. What's here now? Okay, let's bend the knees, roll to the side, and come on up to sit in what I call pinwheel. So the right knee is bent like tree pose, and the left foot is kind of tucked in next to the right hip if it's available. Sorry, left foot, left hip. Okay, and then we're folding over the right leg, over that tree pose leg. That's it. Send your breath into your back ribs here, back body. Rise up. Same stretch, other side. That's it. Breath is in the foreground of awareness. Gently rise up. If you have a blanket on top of your mat, you can remove it, or if you've been on carpet, grab your sticky mat now. Coming into downward facing dog. Brush your spine with breath. Let's lower the knees down to the ground. Hips toward the heels, child's pose. Spread your breath across your back. Let's rise back up to downward facing dog. With your inhale, shift forward to plank, upper push-up position. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's do that a few more times. If it's too much, you can be on all fours, inhaling, and then exhale back to child's pose. Feel the movement through the shoulders. One more time. And from downward facing dog, walk your feet up toward your hands. And then rise to stand in mountain pose. Spreading the toes, feel how your feet connect to the ground. Let's inhale, arms reach up toward the ceiling. That's it. Exhale, feel free to bend your knees as you bring your hands down. Take a breath here. Plant your hands, walk back to plank pose. Knees can come down right away. Lower the knees if you didn't right away. And then lower all the way down onto your belly. Let's keep the toes tucked under, everybody. Push through your heels. Squeeze your buttock muscles. Hug your elbows slightly in toward the sides of your body. Make sure your fingers are spread. Every knuckle is rooted. Squeeze the glutes some more. That's going to help the back. Be safe here. And then just keep your hands grounded without pressing them into the floor. And start to move your chest a little more forward and up. So we're in a low cobra. Slightly tuck the chin, gaze is down. And then from here, lift up through your hips, back to downward facing dog. Push the floor away strongly with your hands. Take small steps forward, all the way up to your hands. Root down through your feet to rise. Arms can sweep up if you like. And then release your arms down. Good. We're going to set up for a few standing postures. You might want your block handy. One block. We'll take a wide stance, setting up for triangle pose, triangle side angle. So left toes point to the top of the mat, right toes point to the side of the mat. If you're using a block, you can have it to the inside or outside of the front foot. Okay, let's keep right hand on hip, stretch left arm out in front of you. Let the hips shift back as you elongate out over your left leg, bringing your hand down to your block. Root through the outer edge of your right foot especially. Rotate through your ribs. Let's stretch the right arm up toward the ceiling or keep the hand on the hip. Let's adjust the gaze down. Okay, from here, keep the arm where it is, either it's up toward the ceiling or hand on the hip, and just bend your left knee to find side angle. Left knee stacking over the ankle. Try hugging your feet in toward each other, like you could wrinkle the mat between them. Straighten the leg, coming back to triangle. And then if arm is up, let's try bringing it alongside the ear, palm facing down, and reach through the arm. Keep the arm where it is, bend the knee, coming back to side angle. Keep hugging the feet in toward each other. Try squeezing your right glute muscles. One more time, we'll straighten the front leg, coming back to triangle. If the arm is alongside the ear, reach it up toward the ceiling. And then rotate the shoulder internally. So the thumb points away from you toward the foot side of your mat, and the palm faces back behind you. And see if you can bring the arm a little further back behind you. And then bend the, actually, let's keep the arm straight. Keep rotating internally as that's available. And bring the arm back behind you and away from you. I know that's kind of weird and different. Just see how it feels. And then bring the hand back to the hip. If you're working with one block, you can grab it, take it with you, rising up, pivoting the feet for the second side. So right toes point to the top of the mat, left toes point to the side of the mat. Block inside or outside the front foot. Left hand to the hip, right arm out in front of you. Let your hips rock back as you lengthen out over the front leg into triangle. Press especially the outer edge of the back foot into the ground. Rotate through the ribs up toward the ceiling. Maybe extending the arm up. Maybe turning the gaze down. Notice how you're breathing. Keep the arm where it is and simply bend your front knee to come into side angle, Parshvakonasana. Let's add that dragging of the feet in toward each other. They're not actually moving, but it's an attempt. Pull the hips toward the back edge of your mat to straighten the front leg. And maybe sweep the arm alongside the ear, so palm faces down. Chest rotates up. Keep the arm where it is, bend the knee again. We're back in side angle, hugging the feet in, squeezing the back glute. Draw the hips back to straighten the leg again. Arm reaching up toward the ceiling. Rotate internally, so the thumb points away from you and the palm faces back behind you. Take the whole shoulder back. Let's try to keep the arm straight and reach the arm further back behind you. Keep rotating internally. Arm can lower a little bit as it reaches back. Let the hand release to the hip. Push feet into the floor. Take the block with you. We're going back to the first side to flow a little bit now. So the block inside or outside the front foot. You can stretch your front arm out in front of you. Rock the hips back to triangle, Trikonasana. Bend the knee, Parshvakonasana, side angle. Straighten the front leg. Let's keep the arm up or hand on the hip this time, Trikonasana. Bend the front knee. Option to sweep the top arm alongside the ear, side angle. Straighten the front leg. Reach the arm up again, triangle. Root and reach to rise. Take your block with you. Second side. Elongating out over the front leg to triangle. Bend your front knee to find side angle. Straighten the front leg, come back to triangle. Bend the front knee, side angle. Sweep the arm alongside the ear if you like. Come back to triangle, arm reaching up. Push feet down and carefully rise up. Let's come back into mountain pose. Okay, if you've got two blocks, you can position them at the top of the mat on the highest setting, just to start. For side angle, Parshvakonasana. For pyramid, Parshvottanasana. So left foot is forward, right foot is back. Now we're facing the short edge of the mat rather than the long edge of the mat. So we want the hips both pointing forward. And again, you can hug your feet in toward each other as if you could wrinkle the mat between them. That's going to stabilize everything. Let's reach the arms up alongside the ears. Keep the arms alongside the ears as you draw the hips back and stretch forward, spine parallel to the floor. If you can, arms parallel to the floor as well. Inhale to rise up. That's it. Exhale, hinge just halfway. Arms as straight as is comfortable for you. That's it. One more time. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, fold halfway. Just pause here. So you can keep the spine long and bring your hands down so we're not rounding through the spine at all. And then if you'd like to go deeper, let it be a deepening of the hip crease that brings the belly closer to that front thigh. Breathing here. That's it. You got it. Feel free to bend the front knee, bring your hands to your hips, and rise. Let's step switch, second side, right foot forward. Make sure your left heel is down and that the left side of your body is in line with the right. So we're not starting here, we're starting here. Yeah, that's it. Reach the arms up. Hug the feet in toward each other. Exhale, just fold halfway. Spine level with the floor or thereabouts. Inhale, root to rise. That's it. As you fold, bring this left side of the body with you, just halfway. Reach, reach, reach forward through the arms. Excellent. One more time. Inhale to rise. Exhale, pause when you get halfway. Try not to change your spine at all at this moment. Bring your hands down to your blocks if you're using them. And then the way we go deeper is by deepening the hip crease rather than rounding the spine. That's totally different action. Take your time. Maybe blocks shorter setting. Breathe through your sides and into your back. Feel free to bend the front knee, hands to the hips, rising up. Step back foot forward, mountain pose. Okay, we have one more standing pose. This is a wide angle forward fold. So feet parallel and wide. Take a breath in, rooting through the feet, lifting up through the spine. And with your exhale, fold forward. You can bring your hands down. Maybe supporting your head on blocks. Slow, steady breath. Squeeze your quads, squeeze your thigh muscles. Let's come up about halfway, spine parallel to the floor. And then from here, you can heel toe the feet in or bring hands to hips and rise up. And then we'll heel toe feet in. Either way, we're coming back up to mountain pose, Tadasana. Okay, let's have a seat, everybody. Maybe sitting on the edge of a blanket. Finding a wide seat, wide-legged seat. Bring your hands alongside your hips. Push your hands down a little bit to lift up through the sides of the torso and really anchor your shoulder blades down your back. Push out through your heels, feet are flexed. Let's hinge to fold forward. Your hands can walk out in front of you. Press the thighs down. If you're feeling all the sensation in your knees, I would bring the legs not so wide. Press down through your legs to rise up. Turn your torso to face one leg and fold over that leg. So kind of lifting and turning the belly to face that thigh. Don't forget about the other leg. Be sure you're still rooting through that sitting bone, pushing through the heel, ground through both thighs. Slowly rise. Torso aligning at center. Turning to face the other leg. And once again, it's a hip hinge that brings us into the fold. Turn the belly to face that thigh. Be sure both legs are active, rooting downward. Slowly rise up and come back through to center. Okay, let's bring the feet in so we can get a hold of the feet. If you can't reach your feet, you could use a towel or a belt or something. So you can lift up through your chest, tip back to hover the feet. Make sure there's nothing behind you that you're going to bang your head on. Okay, you can stay right here or try extending the legs up and straight and wide. Maybe not straight, maybe partially bent. That's it. Keep lifting up through the chest, rocking to the front of the sitting bones. To push-pull action with the hands and the feet. You can stay here or try bringing the legs together. Last couple of breaths here. Anchor the shoulder blades down as you lift the chest up. And then see if you can let go of the feet. So if the feet are up, that's okay. You can set up for a boat from here, feet down, and then hovering the feet, shins parallel to the floor. But if you had your legs up, maybe you can just release the feet. Whoa. Hopefully with more control than that. And we're in a boat pose. Hands can stay on the thighs if the support is helpful for maintaining balance. Last breath or two here. And then allow the feet to come down. And let's straighten the legs. Feet can be together, hip width, shoulder width, mat width. Stretch your arms up alongside your ears. See if you can keep your arms along your ears and head in line with the arms. So everything in one line. Hinge at the hips to fold. When you can't go any further comfortably, hands can come to feet or floor. Keep delivering your chest forward. Root down through your thighs. Slowly rising up. Beautiful, nice. Okay, we're gonna take a little twist here. So let's bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. And if it works for you, bring your left foot back either outside your right hip or you could sit on it. It's not comfortable, but it's one way to do it. Some people are more comfortable doing it that way. Okay, so left hand is on the right knee. We're going to lift up through the chest, walk the right hand back behind you. And then you can keep your hand where it was or hook your elbow. Lengthening on the inhalation. Rotating from belly center with the exhalation. From belly center all the way up through the ribs. Gently unwind your spine. Extend your legs out in front. Left foot to the outside of the right knee. Maybe sitting on the right foot or just having it close to the left hip. Lengthen up through your spine. Walk your left hand back behind you. That's it. Arm can wrap around or maybe elbow hooks. Twisting happens on exhale. Gently unwind your spine. Stretch legs out in front. And lie onto your back. Let's take a moment to just be the witness. Okay, if you've got a block, let's place it between the knees on the medium setting, medium or wide, not narrow, please. And let's open arms out to a T with the palms facing down. Bring your knees up over your hips. The feet leave the ground, knees are bent up over the hips. There it is. We're going to try to keep the shoulders down, everybody. If you've got the block, you can squeeze it and lower your knees toward one elbow. Only go as far as you can go, keeping that other shoulder, keeping the opposite shoulder down. Bring the legs up through center and over to the other side. You kind of angle the knees toward the elbow. At least keep them in line with the hips. Go slow here, side to side. So this is less about getting the legs all the way to the ground, more about having different body parts work independently of each other. One more round. After your second side, come back to center. Release the feet down. If you've got a block, you can keep it on the medium setting and just bring it up a little bit so that it's not between the knees, it's between the thighs. So let's all have feet on the ground, hip width apart, knees bent, arms alongside your body. Make a little space between your lower back and the floor. So what we're going here is a neutral pelvis. That means the pubic bone and the two bony hip points in the front of the body are all horizontal. So we've got a little bit of a gap between the lower spine and the floor. Let's try to keep this position of the pelvis as we lift into a low bridge so that we're only coming about a fist and a half off of the ground. If you've got a block, squeeze the block. Definitely squeeze your glute muscles here. You can take a look, if you can lift your head, make sure your pubic bone isn't tilted up relative to the front of your pelvis, the ASIS. We're breathing here, feeling your connection to the floor through each toe, inner and outer edges of the feet. Squeeze, 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 buttock muscles. And now tuck the tailbone so we come out of neutral pelvis and see if we can roll through the spine, one vertebra at a time to come down. If you've got the block there, leave it there. Now we'll come up into more of a yoga bridge here. So feet root down, lift your hips. You can keep neutral pelvis if you want, or not neutral pelvis, which is the more yogic approach, is to not have the neutral pelvis here. So if you've got the block, you're squeezing it. We're squeezing the glutes for sure. That's going to help stabilize the back. Now you can lift more than a fist height if so inclined. Wherever you are, let's try lifting to the heels. So I don't say lift the toes because then people keep the balls of their feet down. So the whole foot coming off the ground, except the heels, unless you want to levitate. Drive the heels down, keep squeezing the glutes. Reach your arms up toward the ceiling, everybody. Palms face each other. Breathe into your upper back. As you exhale, reach a little bit more. One more time. Inhale, breathe into the upper back. Reach a little more with the exhale. Bring your feet back down to the ground. Inhale into the upper ribs, back ribs. Reach, reach, reach on the exhale. And then articulate, roll through your spine to come down. If the block was there, you can remove it and stretch your legs out into Shavasana. I'm going to do a little bit of breath work after Shavasana. So make your adjustments here so you can rest comfortably. Cultivating symmetry in your body. Bones gliding down through layers of muscle and tissue in response to the pull of gravity. Nothing to do, just rest. Come back into the river of breath. And bring your awareness back into your body, sacred vessel for life's journey. And as you feel ready, slowly and gently rise up to a seat. Organize your seat in such a way that your spine is upright. Feel comfortable and alert. You can close your eyes or turn your gaze downward. And bring your awareness into the breath. Okay, we'll use our hands to divert the breath in Nadi Shodhanam, or alternate nostril breathing. So right hand, index, and middle finger can rest between the eyebrows or on the palm. And then we have the ring pinky together as one and the thumb on the other side. Slightly tucking the chin, bringing your hands to hover over your nostrils. It's just above any flare that you might have. Take a breath in through both nostrils, and then close right nostril with thumb and exhale through left nostril. Inhaling left, close left, exhale right. Our pattern, it continues. We exhale and then inhale through one nostril, and then close that nostril and exhale and inhale through the other nostril. So you can find your own rhythm here. It's a slow, steady breath. If you're congested, you don't want to use your fingers, just visualize the breath without forcing it through any closed or clogged spaces. Be sure your breath is touching into the back ribs, that it's not all one-dimensional. Back and sides of the ribs. Be sure you're not pressing too hard and thus turning the head. It's just enough of a touch to close the nostril. One more minute. After your next inhalation, release your hand so you can breathe out through both nostrils. And feel the breath moving through both nostrils. And let's join hands, palms together at heart center. If you'd like, you can join me chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Om Peace Peace Peace. Take a breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for joining me. Thank you.